Hello again, welcome back to, I guess, Jasu Plays Sonic Mania, I'll probably call this. I didn't think too much about, how I'm gonna, handle the uploads and the YouTube and all that. I just planned on playing Sonic Mania and, talking while doing so. So that's, what we're gonna do more of. I think, or actually I don't have to think, I can just, demonstrate.
Sonic!
That's brilliant, I love that.
Tails! Knuckles!
And?
Knuckles!
And?
Knuckles!
That's enough of that. Anyways, so we got our time attack unlocked here, and that shows us all the zones we've unlocked. So yeah, we've got 4 left. I believe it's, Oil Ocean, Metallic Madness, whatever the new final zone is, and... I don't know if there's a special zone for getting all the emeralds. There wasn't with Knuckles, but that was the case in Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Or, oh, you know what? Yeah, it's Lava Reef. Lava Reef is the other one, so... No, it doesn't look like there's an extra zone with Sonic getting all the emeralds. So, yeah, we know that now. Oh yeah, I went into the extras here, so it shows you all of the coins you get from the Blue Sphere stages. So, yeah, we are like a few away from being halfway there, but yeah, that's a bit ridiculous. That's a bit more Blue Sphere than even I can handle. We're definitely not getting all those in one playthrough, and frankly, I think I'm probably gonna have to grind out the rest of those once I'm done with this series here. But yeah, that's all stuff I'm gonna do later. Oh right, and I figured out... What did I figure out? Yes, secrets. And so yeah, this is where you can switch between the different versions of Sonic's abilities. So then yeah, CD is your peel out, 3 and K is your insta shield. Kind of weird that they don't give you like the individual toggles for each of them. Like, why not have peel out and insta shield? Oh yeah, and it swaps away from Mania as well. So actually, I bet that you lose your drop dash if you do it that way. Or okay, what if we turn and Knuckles on? Or you know what? I bet you can only do that in no save mode, maybe, because that's the only way it comes up. Well, okay, we'll see. Let's go into 3 and K mode with and Knuckles on, and we'll see if it does anything to this. Okay, I don't see Knuckles, and I don't see an insta shield, and we still got a drop dash. So yeah, it looks like the secrets only work on no save playthroughs, maybe. Or maybe only on clear files. That would make sense as well. Okay, so Oil Ocean. This is not one that I would have picked from Sonic 2 for, yeah, inclusion in this type of sort of retro throwback Sonic game here. But, okay. Or you know what? No, we're done with the, yeah, we're done with the special stages. Although, I still kind of want to see if I can get up there. Okay, so anyways, yeah. Yeah, Oil Ocean would not have been, like, one of my first choices for this type of game. But on the other hand, the guys who made this have some really cool ideas for this zone, and I think they did a really good job with it. Again, Act 1, pretty similar to the original. There's not a whole lot of new stuff here, other than the interaction of the flame shield with the oil fields, which is pretty cool. But Act 2 is where they really mix things up, and things get really cool. So, yeah, Act 1 was actually, yeah, I remember this one being another kind of letdown, where it was just way too similar to the old one for my liking. Like, this bit right here comes straight out of the original game. I believe this bit up here does as well. So let's take the low route this way. Yeah, let's just burn up as much oil as we possibly can. That's just a great effect. I love that they thought to do that. And yeah, it makes me wonder, actually, what other interactions there are that the different shields might have with the environment. Because, oh, hey, there weren't spikes there for some reason, but I jumped into the flames. Anyways, like a moron. Actually, I want to take the low road just for fun. You know, I almost always take the high roads in these games. They're a little bit quicker, generally, and I usually like to play quickly when I'm replaying all the different Sonic games. But, you know, it's still early in my sort of learnings of this game. Or actually, you know what? If this matches the layout of the old zone, then I think we're going backwards. Or actually, no, this is actually different from the original. But, okay, yeah, we'll go this way. Man, it seems like they give you a lot of rings in this game. Like, I think a couple times now we've been, like, up over 200. Actually, there was that one time I remember, yeah, we got 300, which is pretty nuts. I mean, okay, there's a couple zones, I guess, in Sonic 3 and Knuckles where you can get that high. Like, I'll reliably clear, like, 200 or 300 rings in Marble Garden Act 1, for example. But yeah, we seem to be doing it a fair bit here, even after like taking a bunch of hits. Or, you know, I remember killing this guy before he could do anything last time, so I actually want to see what he's got in store for us. Okay, there's no way for me to know that those were up there, so that's pretty stupid. Yeah, that's... And you don't even have to let him do that. The first time I played this, I just killed him before he got to do anything. Or I couldn't kill him before he threw the wrench, so he threw the wrench at me, but then I killed him. But yeah, that's not a very good boss. Kind of reminiscent in his design of the, what is it? Mushroom Hill Act 1 boss. Okay, now you can see the oil fields are on fire, at least in the background. I bet you that thing will, like... Yep. And that's probably, yep, Tails demonstrating what happens if you leap into that there. And yeah, you can see kind of a fiery background there. And in addition to all that, we got the Sandopolis Darkness gimmick. Kind of, sort of. So yeah, the longer you take, the foreground will fill up with this smog here from the burning oil. And then, and again, just like in Sandopolis, it doesn't get... I remember I broke that my first time through the level, so we're gonna go right on through and see something different this time around. Oh, I didn't even notice this the first time around. It actually drains your rings. Didn't even notice. Okay, so it's even more hazardous than the Sandopolis. This is very different. I did not go into a submarine my first time through this level. So, okay, that's something really different. And yeah, there's a bunch of stuff, like cool stuff like that I like saw the first time that I didn't see the second time through the different levels in this game. Like we saw the Sega Sonic popcorn maker, which I'd seen in trailers, but hadn't seen in my first playthrough of the actual level in Studiopolis. But we didn't see the bingo machine this time around, which I got last time in Studiopolis. And it just makes me wonder, like, what else is there in this game that I have not seen yet? Or, yeah, there was the whole Sky Chase Redux in the, or you know what, there's... Looks like I can go through those walls. Maybe not. Oh, you know what? We're gonna start choking. Gonna start coughing up our rings soon. There we go. Fixed that problem. Yeah, I didn't even notice that the smog effect actually drains your rings. I don't know if I just never got it. Like, if it never happened to me to the point where that happens in the first time I played this game. Or you know what? I remember there being oh, come on. I remember there being rings, or a special stage ring over in this direction the first time through the game. Maybe I made it up. Maybe I was... Or no, it's right here. Remember it's at like one of these points where you've got like a switch, and then a big oil field on the ground, and then you go to the left and there's a special stage ring. Or maybe Knuckles' version of this stage is completely different. I have no idea. I never went into a submarine as Knuckles, and I've done that twice as Sonic, so... It's cool, too, how the, So I talked a bit about oil... I talked a lot of shit, actually, about Oil Ocean Zone in my Sonic 2 playthrough. It's mainly the enemies. I don't like the, especially the seahorse guys. Don't like the seahorse guys, and don't like the octopuses. Just the constant projectile spam you can get sometimes with the way the enemies would cluster up, and especially the seahorses who would just like pop up at you out of nowhere. In Sonic Mania now though, where you've got the shields reflecting projectiles, that's actually much less of a problem, as long as you can keep your shields, and the enemies are much more sensibly placed, and you've got bigger screen resolution, so you can see more around you, and not get caught unawares by the seahorses. So yeah, it's like sort of... So, and yeah, like I said, I'd never liked Oil Ocean Zone, so I would never have picked this. We just went backwards, didn't we? That's super lame. Oh well, I guess we'll try that again. That's really dumb that they let you drop back down there like that. But, you know, other than that one little misstep, like I think they took the Oil Ocean Zone and kind of fixed all the problems with it and added like some cool gimmicks to it with the burning oil and the switches and stuff. And I don't know, maybe some people will hate the light switches and the ring draining effect. I'm not sure how I feel about the ring draining effect. One of my favorite things about Sandopolis Zone, Act 2, which was a good level, by the way. Don't listen to the haters. Sandopolis 2 is great. But one of the cool things about it is that you could play through and ignore the switches if you wanted to, and you could just like weather the ghost spam and just play through it that way. And you know, the darkness, it was, you know, not pitch black, so you could still see what you're doing enough to, you know, now that I know that we're like barely halfway through the blue sphere stages, I think we need to do more of these. I think this is one of the ones from Sonic and Knuckles, maybe the second or something like that. And anyways, yeah, Oil Ocean. They kind of fixed it up. They kind of did cool stuff with it, and I kind of like it this time around as a result. I don't know what Sonic 2 Zone I would choose other than it though. Like I think Chemical Plant is an excellent choice. Or you know what, that did not work the way I expected. I thought there were going to be red spheres there. Okay, I think this is the one. We go left here, and then there's going to be the red sphere. Or are there? I actually don't know what I'm doing at all, so we're just going to go for it. I think we're fast enough to jump. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think you can make that, like, a jump over 2 in a row thing. Like, I don't think jumping over 2 in a row works when you're at the lowest speed threshold on here, but yeah, as soon as you speed up at all, it becomes possible. And you know what, I believe they compressed this special stage as well, because I remember there being a lot more like square, like big fields of blue spheres in this one. So I believe they shortened this one too, which is sensible. And I think so. This bit here is kind of reminiscent of the end of the original Oil Ocean Act 2. So I think we're coming up on a boss right away. We are not, unless the Sonic's boss is different for this one. I don't see any reason why it would be, but I'm really curious now. I need to do another Knuckles playthrough after this and see if the submarines are like a new Sonic-only thing, or if I just missed them the first time around. But yeah, that's just really cool how there's like... I mean, that's, yeah, always, as I keep on saying, the great thing about Sonic games in general is that there's just so many different ways to play through them. Come on, get me up there. Come on, Tails, do your job. Huh. Looks like I can't get enough height to get up there, and Tails is being a useless sod at the moment, so I guess we'll just leave it alone. Surprised it's not draining my rings already. Ah, there it goes. Oh, get away from the smog. This is like, what, the 5th submarine I've gone down into? This is ridiculous. It's actually a little bit reminiscent of Talking Time Brothers, for some reason, at least for me. Like, I remember a lot of Talking Time Brothers levels okay. I don't know who. Whatever. It's a Mario fan game I played way back in the day. Made in the Super Mario Brothers X engine, and I did a Let's Play of it back in the day, and a lot of their levels did that kind of same thing where you'd have like a main portion of the stage, and then you would like take a pipe down into an interior location. Like you'd be on the outside of an airship, then you'd take a pipe down into the interior. Or you'd be like above ground, then you take a pipe and you go below down. And even right down to the sort of box-like design of the interior, where you got like a lot of sharp angles and just like a very square layout of the interior of the submarine. That's, yeah, just very reminiscent of the way a lot of Talking Time Brothers levels worked. I wonder if actually that was the same guy who designed all the levels that were like that. Because they had a team of people, like a few different people making levels in that game, so I wonder if like all the ones I'm thinking of came from the same guy or not. Anyways, that's a random aside. Wow, so Talking Time Brothers, that was like the third. I think I Let's Played that like 5 or 6 years ago at this point. My goodness. How the time flies. I had a huge problem with this boss the first time through, but I kind of figured him out. At least I felt like I figured him out by the end, but it took some doing. So we'll see if I've really learned anything or not here. This I don't know how I don't know. Like I said, I've only played this boss once, so it's tough to say how I feel about it at this point. A shield would be really nice here. Or, you know, any rings at all. And this one actually has a bit of the problems that I mentioned some of the original Sonic bosses had. Like the Sonic 2 next to last boss, like the laser boss in Wing Fortress had this problem, where it's you get hit once, and because of the way the boss arena is set up, yeah, you'll lose all of your rings very easily. Like right here, on the most dangerous part of the fight, when you're like jumping above the oil and getting shot at, all of the rings will fly down below the oil, and it's really hard to recollect them. So you're just getting like fewer and fewer rings every time you get hit, until you reach the point where you lose all of them and can't get them back, and now we're stuck. And the difference between shield and no shield is massive for this boss, because of course the shield reflects the projectiles, which are your biggest danger. I remember the first time when I played this as Knuckles, I came in with a shield the first time around, but I completely screwed things up and lost the shield as a result, and then it took me like 4 or 5 tries to actually beat him. Then I thought I kind of figured him out after that, but apparently not. Yeah, I don't know about this boss. It's very reminiscent of the original Oil Ocean boss, but a bit of a, you know, they changed things up a bit, which I normally like. And normally they've changed things up in good ways in this game so far, but I don't know if I like the inclusion of the lava reef tentacles there, especially at that point when you're kind of stuck in the oil. And also the rest of the fight is exactly the same as the original Oil Ocean boss, so I feel like they kept too much of it the same, and the bits that they did change, I think, are actually worse than the original fight. Like, I don't think there was anything wrong with just bouncing on a submarine. If anything, I think it would have been, like, as neat as and cute as the big octopus sprite is, I think it would have been neater if they'd done something with the submarine bit. Because this was the least interesting part of the original fight, where it's just like you jump over the thing and then duck and jump over the lasers, and it takes frickin' forever, and you're basically just like doing nothing until the boss shows up again. That was the worst part of the original fight, so it's just mind-boggling that they actually kept that for this one. And then the bit that they did add is actually worse than the original, so I don't know. Yeah, I kind of still... I mean, I got it in only 2 tries this time around instead of, like... Actually, I think it might have even been, like, 6 tries it took me the first time, but, yeah, I think I feel safe saying at this point that one was a definite miss for me. Which is fine, you know? Like the original Sonic games certainly didn't have spectacular bosses all the way through or anything. But, yeah, you know, I just thought it was worth commenting on. Yeah, in fact, I think that might be, like, the worst boss in the game, as far as I'm concerned. Like, it's not awful. Or, I don't know, I'm pretty good at... Now that I think of it, I'm, like, pretty decent at Sonic games. And I've seen a lot of people, especially YouTubers and Let's Players, who are really pretty bad at Sonic games. So I'm wondering if that boss is, like, really, really awful for people, or something. I don't know, I'm really curious now, and I'm gonna have to go out and see some other people playing through this game, now that I'm kind of out of the spoiler avoidance mode for this. Oh, this is neat. They got, like, kind of elements from, what is it? Endless Mine from the Sonic 3 two-player zones. Just like the way that loop-de-loop is designed, and kind of a few of the wood ramparts there. It's just like, yeah, kind of looks the same. I mean, yeah, the Sonic 3 two-player zones didn't exactly have a lot of spectacular gimmicks that you could really incorporate into... whatever. Yeah, that you could really incorporate into Sonic Mania in a very interesting way, but like I said, they pulled from basically everything, so it's nice to see a nod to, yeah, the Sonic 3 two-player zones as well. Good music in those as well. Yeah, in fact, you see a lot of Sonic fan games using the... that's not good. I don't like that. It's embarrassing that I screwed that up, too, because I remembered it was there, because it was in the original game. I knew this was over here, but... Oh yeah, the little, like, Loch Ness Monster robots are a nice touch here, too. Really good fit for the zone. Again, a great example, or, yeah, an example of how they did a really great job with integrating parts of multiple zones into their remakes. And yeah, I like it. This is one of the... We're sort of away from bad... I wouldn't even say that any of the zones in this game are bad. Just sort of unoriginal, uninspired zones. I think this was a good one. Oil Ocean Act 2 was certainly a good one. And then, yeah, the only really big missteps, I think, were Hydrocity and... I don't remember at this point. Kind of running on autopilot, but yeah, I remember really enjoying the last few zones of this game. I actually find it kind of difficult to recognize a lot of parts of this zone. Not because the original Lava Reef wasn't memorable or anything, but because the background is actually so different. Or okay, the underground background is the same as the original zone, but the above ground background, like this bit right here, is, yeah, a fair bit different. So it's like just kind of screwing with my visual memory and making it harder to recognize. Okay, and here we got like a bit that's, yeah, the Endless Mine loop-de-loop bit here. Is this gonna be a ring? No. What is this then? We're gonna drop down? Why is that here? Why do I want to be up here? That's really strange. That's a bit of a mystery. Oh well, it's a fun mystery. Mysteries in Sonic games are always fun. It's like, what is this here for? How do I get up there? That's always the best question in a Sonic game. How do I get up there? And, you know, sometimes the boring answer is, you know, play as Tails or Knuckles. I never really play as Tails or Knuckles much in the old games, just because I don't know, I don't like the movement gimmicks. They're too slow for my liking, and I have way more fun trying to figure out how to get up to high places using Sonic. This is gonna take me to something? What is the point of this block here? Oh man, this zone is just full of mysteries. Kind of weird that they chose, or it's weird, but makes sense that they chose to do the like the lava jets there the way they did. In the original Lava Reef, the lava came down from above and dropped down on you kind of suddenly, and here it kind of comes up slowly from below, so you can. So rather than like in the original Lava Reef, you could kind of it would kind of catch you unawares. You'd be like jumping over a pit, and then suddenly lava drops down on you, which could feel kind of unfair sometimes. Whereas in this one, it rises up slowly from the ground. So it's like if you make an early jump, you'll just jump over it as it rises slowly from the lava pit. So they sort of like fixed like a really minor problem with the level, which is just great. They've been doing like a lot of that with a lot of these different changes they made for the zones, and it's just like really spectacular. Like the level of yeah, sure, the level design sense that the designers seem put on display here. I'm like really impressed. Like it is so. Like I said, it's kind of tough to tell the difference if you're not really into these types of games, but it is an extremely rare, like, modern retro-style game that really, like, captures... Not just captures the spirit of the, like, old-school games. A fair... not a ton of games, but a decent number of games manage to do that. But, like, the ones that really... like, go the extra step beyond and actually, like, push the genre forward and improve things in really cool and interesting ways. Those are quite rare. Like, I can really... I would have a difficult time counting, like, how many games there are that I could say, like, are better than, like, the old school retro games. I did not play through this section at all in my first playthrough of this. Yeah, this is completely new. Are we still sinking into the ground? I guess I can... Were we sinking into the ground in the first place? What is going on here? I guess Drill Man's gonna keep on drilling, I guess. But yeah, Freedom Planet, I got that sense. Shovel Knight, I got that sense of just like, not only does this like capture the retro spirit, or you know, the sense and the feel of all those old school games and all the stuff that was good about them, it goes that extra step beyond and improves on them and does like a bunch of cool and interesting things on top of that. It's like Shovel Knight did it, or I don't know, Freedom Planet was sort of Freedom Planet was an interesting case where it didn't really have much of a retro feel. It actually felt extremely modern, rather than being like a retro-style 2D platformer. It almost felt like just a purely, like a strictly modern 2D platformer that just like sort of takes lessons from the games of yore. There's very little like retro throwback stuff I felt in Freedom Planet. That was just like a brand new experience. But still, sort of in the same vein, it's you know, one that nevertheless improves on the classics and can sort of be considered in the same pantheon, I guess, as games like Sonic the Hedgehog, Super Mario Brothers, and you know, all of the best games in that series. And I really did feel that about Freedom Planet and Shovel Knight, that they really are, in many ways, I think, and actually having played through both games a ton of times now, I can say this with confidence, really are truly a step beyond. Like, don't get me wrong, they're not perfect games. There are some things they do that mostly the additions that kind of miss the mark, and that where things get kind of out of control and aren't as well polished as they otherwise could have been. But then, you know, the old games, then there's the issue of, you know, the rose-tinted glasses as well. Old games had their problems as well. So, but yeah, my basic point that I'm trying to get at is I really do think that Freedom Planet and Shovel Knight are like the two best like retro-style 2D platformers out there. Like, I stack them up to like your Castlevanias, Mario Brothers, Sonic, any of those games. Like, yeah, in terms of like retro-style 2D games, it's like Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Or I don't know, Sonic 3 and Knuckles has certainly been supplanted. I like Freedom Planet more than I like Sonic 3 and Knuckles. I'm pretty confident saying that at this point. I am not sure about Yoshi's Island. Yoshi's Island is like in another league. It's like a head of... You don't see retro games ripping off, like modern retro games, ripping off Yoshi's Island, because Yoshi's Island was like just in its own league of just like insane creativity and design and just magnificence that I don't know if that's going to be surpassed. But it's close. It's getting there. Like, I don't think I'd put Freedom Planet above Yoshi's. It's been a long time since I played Yoshi's Island. I might have to go back and try it again to be sure. But yeah, I'd tentatively say that Yoshi's Island is better than Freedom Planet. You know, I just cheesed this boss with Super Knuckles. or Hyper Knuckles my first time through, so I didn't really get a sense of what this boss was about. I don't know why those rocks are at the top of the screen. Like, it's really tough to dodge those stalactites. Oh, and you're right, I actually have to hit him now. And especially if you're trying to hit the boss at the same time you're doing that. Like, yeah, I don't know why those rocks are at the top of the screen. It just obscures your vision and gives you less room to see what's coming. And I can barely react to those things, let alone hit the boss while doing so. Yeah, I don't know about that one. It's not... It's got the simplicity down, at least. It's not an overly complicated boss, so it's fine in that regard, at least. But, stalactites, a little bit too fast and or not enough room to see them.